My flight today was JQ35 from Melbourne to Bali's Denpasar Airport. I was flying out on Easter Monday and wasn't too sure if there would be long queues at security and check-in, so arrived at 3 p.m. There were no queues. I blasted my way through check-in and security, if you'll pardon the pun, and was walking through duty-free at about 3:15. I had to pick up an Indonesian power adapter. I looked all throughout my house for like the 4 that I've bought before, but just couldn't find them, so...
PIN pad to complete transaction.
Then I had a couple of hours to burn before my flight. I luckily hit Points Club Plus last year and got that sweet complimentary Qantas Club membership. Entry here was a bit of a mess.
No, it's not Qantas Club. It says frequent flyer Bronze. Would you just join?
It's Points Club Plus.
Did you link a pass?
No, I've got Qantas.
Is that one's showing frequent flyer?
Yeah. No, when you get Points Club Plus, you get...
a pass. You get a pass. So have you linked it?
You get Qantas Club.
Well,
Points Club
it's not
Plus you
showing
do.
that. All right, what's the number? And you are... That's interesting.
What is
now
it?
It is Qantas Club.
Okay. Yeah.
But your card should reflect that there. What's going on with that?
I'm not sure. She told me to contact Qantas to update my account, but mysteriously a few days ago, the whole thing changed and now it says Qantas Club. I'm not sure if that's something that she did or if it was just a coincidence. But if you find yourself in a similar situation, just ask them to look up your account with the frequent flyer number. They should be able to confirm it then. I'm not going to do a whole lounge review here, but let's just say it's very sort of basic and not super luxurious. They've got a great selection of beer, wine, spirits, but the food is very mid-tier. You always get some sort of curry and rice, soup, and some salads, cake. They're all delicious, but they're not very luxurious, especially when you compare it to like Emirates where they're serving salmon and steak at a buffet. They did have these hot cross buns, which was a nice touch for Easter, even though they're a little bit stale. Right before I was due to leave, they did come around with these salmon summer roll things, which were quite nice. And look, at the end of the day, it's all just free food, so it's all delicious. Right, back to the flight. My flight today was on one of Jetstar's hot new A321neos. The actual plane that we're flying on was the first one to be delivered to Jetstar in August of last year. These planes use 10 to 15% less fuel and produce half the cabin noise when compared to an A321. This is all true, but they're also incredibly tight. Having my knees rub up against the seat in front of me for a 6-hour overnight flight from Asia just sounds torturous to me. But I also do understand the ridiculousness of this comment. Obviously, if you can get an all-in return flight to Bali for like under $300, then the suffering's probably worth it. But anyway. Of course, being Jetstar, the flight was delayed by 20 minutes, so here's a time-lapse that I made with all of this extra free time.
Seated in the exit row, fit, willing and able to assist.
I am, thank you. You may have noticed I'm a bit thingy about legroom, and so on this flight I did fork out the extra for the exit row. It was under $50 for a 5-hour flight, and I would highly recommend it. Especially book the 2 rows in the middle of the plane, over the wings. Because you've still got seats in front of you, you just get a bit more legroom underneath the seats. If you look right here, you can see the front row, exit row, you're kind of up against a wall, or that first row. I think they charge extra for it. I mean, it's still better than a regular seat, but it's a bit annoying having a wall there. You can't put your feet under. My seat?
Sorry.
You're right. Thanks. The exit row has really good legroom and I would highly recommend it. The new seats on the Neo have this handy little device holder. It just pops down. It's got a rubberized bottom so you can set your device on any angle. I would say it suits anything up to like an iPad, and you also have USB charging there. Jetstar has said that they're going to bring in-flight Wi-Fi entertainment streaming to your device towards the end of the year. So I didn't get to try it. They will be charging for it, of course, but it'll definitely be a nice addition. You may be able to tell from some of these shots that the middle seat was empty for this flight. So it was just me on the aisle and a guy on the window seat. This is one of those flights where the guy on the window seat just wanted to chat for the whole flight. Usually, this is a nightmare, but he was actually like a friendly older guy. The lack of in-flight entertainment meant that I was more than down for a chat. He taught me some interesting things about concrete, world history, and women. This was where I could definitely notice the reduction in cabin noise on the Neo. I didn't have to really lean over to hear him. Definitely noticeable in terms of noise. All right, let's talk toilets. I checked out the front one and one of the ones at the back. The front one was a little bit more spacious. They both had these nice hand soaps. They've got big mirrors, actually. I think that's sort of the modern thing that I noticed about them compared to older A320s. This one's even smaller. They weren't particularly clean, but were definitely not the dirtiest that I've ever seen. Another interesting thing that I noted was the one at the front did not have a quiet closing toilet seat, whereas the one at the back did. Not sure what the logic is there, but it was definitely a bit strange. Quiet closing lid. I didn't pre-book any food for this flight, but towards the end I did order some $7.50 noodles. They were fine. A little bit pricey for what they were, but pretty tasty. The crew were great too. Big ups to India, the flight attendant, not the country, and to Rick, the guy sitting next to me. You guys made it an entertaining flight. I booked this flight as a classic rewards flight. It cost me 18,000 frequent flyer points plus around $125. I can hear everyone going, oh, that's a bad use of points. But because I was flying over Easter, equivalent paid one-way tickets were like $500 plus. So I thought it was actually pretty good value in the end. Would I recommend you take this flight? Well, considering what I said earlier, I would actually recommend that you take this flight if it's during the day and you can book an exit row seat. Obviously, if you have the option of taking the Dreamliner, I would recommend that over this, but it's not that bad in an exit row. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my first sort of flight review. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up. We've got a couple others in the pipeline coming soon, so make sure you subscribe for them. Check out flightformula.com. I've got some tools there and some blog posts and stuff like that. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks and bye. Nothing's changed?